I never had interest in farming, I would have bet my life that I will never be a farmer. Back then, I saw farming as a tax for poor, wretched, and old people, according to the narrative being pushed then. Hi, my name is Ogbe Samuel Okporubi. I'm a vegetable farmer, a consultant agronomist, pastry chef, and a youth enthusiast. I was born and bred in Lagos State, Nigeria. I hold a BSc in botany from Delta State University, Abuja. I'm an introverted boy who loves volleyball, Scrabble, and other board games. I also relish my solitude and calm beans. Oh, and I love good food. I have 6 years experience in greenhouse and open field cultivation of vegetables. One thing I know is I have always have a strong love for food. Growing up, my mother was a caterer, so I spent a lot of time with her in the kitchen. This sparked my passion for becoming a chef. My journey into the state of farming is funny. I was job hunting in 2019 after my NYSC when I got an offer to be a management trainee for a company that sells agro inputs in Ogbe State. Fortunately, I was to be trained on their farm, Setford Farm, as a technical person, and I had to work and learn as a trainee on the company's farm, and it was the biggest modern tomato greenhouse in Ogbe State. So I learned for about 5-6 months before I was transferred to Jos. So moving down to Jos, I got a pot, these flower pots, and I planted tomatoes on my own for the first time. It was intriguing seeing something from seed, since life come out of seed. Imagine I planted a tomato seed and I was harvesting tomatoes non-stop. I further planted herbs like lemon balm, parsley, mint, chives. I also planted habaneros, mulberry. It was intriguing. I think that was my aha moment. If I can do this on a small scale, okay, let me try doing it on a bigger scale. So I was working with different farms, consulting for them. I was studying. So at the end of the day, I think I found myself neck deep in the house of farming. Currently on the farm, we cultivate on the open field, and in the greenhouse, mostly in the greenhouse, we cultivate bell peppers, habaneros, purple cabbage, a bit of tomatoes, and cucumber. We chose to grow these vegetables because there is a lot of demand for them, especially bell peppers. Unfortunately, these demands are not being met by the Nigerian farmers because it's difficult to grow quality bell pepper fruits. We have so much infestation, like so many problems from pest infestations like thrips, aphids, spider mites, powdery mildew, late blight, and other things that affect production of bell peppers. So we choose to grow this crop sustainably to meet the market demands and to ensure that our country is food secured. One of the techniques I use to ensure we grow our vegetables sustainably is IPM. IPM simply means Integrated Pest Management. Here, unlike the conventional farmer, I use a combination of biological, physical or cultural, and also chemicals to control pests on the farm. We use more of the biological and the organic because it is cheaper. Aside being cheaper, it also friendly to the environment, because we complain of climate change. We complain that most of our foods contains carcinogens and other substances that causes health issues for the consumer. So we focus more on using the organic as a proactive measures to control this pest. And we use also the cultural like pruning, trellising, and some other good agronomic practices that helps us grow our food sustainably. I often hear people use the word modern farmer. It may mean different things to different people, but to me, I believe being a modern farmer means to efficiently utilize modern technologies, techniques, and practices in combination with our traditional farming practices to produce food sustainably and also to increase productivity on the farm. And some of the techniques I use, especially as a vegetable farmer, for instance, I use the pruning technique. This helps me, or it helps us to control the quality of the fruits we produce in terms of size and yield, because most times many bell pepper farmers, they just leave all the branches on the plants and they get plenty fruits, but the fruits are not as big as the premium market prefers. So, but with pruning, I'm able to get bigger fruits, cleaner fruits, and also effectively manage pests on the farm. Another technique I use is mulching of the soil with plastic mulch, silver plastic mulch. What this does is that it helps us reduce weeding on the farm, manual weeding on the farm, because it's very difficult to weed your farm every week, especially when you are running a big farm. But with mulching of the farm, weeding is reduced by over 90%. So you can see some of these modern techniques makes farming easy. I call it smart farming. It makes the farming easy for both the workers, the farm hands, and also the agronomist. Okay, one of the major successes for me so far is the fact that I've been able to influence people via social media and also in real time positively. 2019, I started posting my gardening stuff online. It's never occurred to me that I would be a force in this industry. It never occurred to me that I will ever be an agricultural influencer. I was just posting these things just for the sake of I would see as an hobby. I just posted it because in my head I don't have anything else to post. I just post my plants are flowering, my plants are fruiting. And with time or over time, I noticed that people were being enthused by my farming journey. And I've been influencing people a lot. I get a lot of calls, messages, of people telling me I've influenced them, especially young people, that they are about starting their farm or they want to learn. And I get these calls. I get nothing less than 50 calls or messages daily from different people, informing me or letting me know how my post online have influenced them, how they are about to start their farm journey, how they've nursed the idea of starting their own farm. But seeing my post, it brought their dreams or the ideas they have in their heads into reality. And it's therapeutic listening to all of the feedbacks I get. And also, I've been able to train over 200 individuals on sustainable farming of vegetables, maybe more than, because most of my posts online are actually educative posts. I talk about trellising, I talk about pruning, I talk about soil management, I talk about a lot of things. So I would not want to quantify the number of people I've trained, but I've trained a lot of people via social media and also in real time. In real time, I think I've trained about 35 people, and it gives me joy to see most of them running their own farm sustainably and working as agronomists for farms in Nigeria. And those are trained gradually. They're also doing very well. Some are yet to start their farm. Some are just doing gardening. Of course, in farming, you start small to grow big. And also, I have consulted for many farms. And one of the moments, or some of the moments I relish, is seeing these farms flourish. Imagine consulting for a farm that was struggling to produce a basket of habanero or bell pepper, but you visit the next time and you see them harvesting in baskets, 10, 20, 50 baskets of this produce. You feel there's this sort of joy that comes from solving problems. That's how I feel most of the time, making an impact in our society and also being a force driving food security in Nigeria.